Hello, friends, and welcome back to Keefe's Kitchen. I know what you're thinking. Well, maybe you're not thinking this, but after I say it, you're going to be thinking it. So I kind of know what you're going to be thinking. Dylan, you look a little disheveled, right? Your hair's getting a little long and weird looking. Your beard's kind of uneven. It's kind of unshaved, and you're looking a little rough. And you know what? I'm doing fine. I appreciate the concern. This is actually a little bit of method acting for the type of recipe that I'm doing. Okay, so imagine, if you will, it's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. You're tired, but also hungry, as often is the case late at night. You're a little disheveled, like me, relatable, and you go to your fridge and you're like, you know what? I want something to eat, but I don't want to have to put in a lot of effort. But I kind of want it to be slightly bad for me. But I also don't want it to be too bad. And for me, at those times, the thing that I want the most is breakfast. So we're making a one-pan breakfast quesadilla. Let's do it.
All right, friends, first thing we need is a pan. This here is an 11-inch nonstick pan. And into that pan, I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to turn the heat on to medium and let it melt. And I know it's nonstick. I know I really don't need butter, but I like butter, okay? Anyway, here's some eggs, and I'm going to crack 3 eggs into this bowl. You could do less, but honestly 3 is, I think, the optimal amount for this. You could do more, but then it gets a little bit too thick. So crack your eggs, beat them up until they're nice and combined, and then once the butter is fully melted in the pan, we're going to add the eggs right in. And you could add a little seasoning at this point. I added a little black pepper, but that's up to you. And we're going to let this cook over medium heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like at the right consistency to add your tortilla. So you'll see here, it's a little bit undercooked on top, and the bottom is fully cooked. So I'm just kind of loosening up the sides with my spatula here, kind of get it to pull away from the side of the pan. And then what you want is, once you do that, the whole omelet will move around. It'll still be a little bit undercooked on top, but the omelet itself, the entire thing moves around and there's nothing sticking. So once you've reached that point, you can go ahead and grab your tortilla, and we're going to just press it right on top of the eggs. And you don't want to press too hard. I just like to give it a little press so that it binds nicely to the egg on top. That's still a little bit undercooked. And we're going to let this cook over medium heat for another minute, minute and a half. And that'll just make sure that the egg and the tortilla are stuck together nicely so that you can flip them in one piece. So the flipping is really the most difficult part of this entire recipe. You could be brave and try to do it, by hand, or like by flipping the pan. Or using, not flipping the pan, but using the pan. But I did not. I used my spatula. So I just like to test it a little bit just to make sure it's stuck. And then use the spatula, and in one smooth motion, try to give it a nice little flip. There you go. Not too bad. And worst comes to worst, no judgment zone. If you mess it up, that's okay. Here I've got some chorizo left over from last night, and I just microwaved it. And I'm going to spread that out in a layer on half of the tortilla, and I'm going to take 2 slices of American cheese, place that right on top. Ain't got time for anything fancy here. American cheese will do just fine, but you could add any cheese you want, or no cheese. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. And then, once your tortilla has warmed up a little bit on the other side, I like to fold it over in half and create that quesadilla shape. Once you've folded it in half, we're going to cook this on one side, still over medium heat, for about 2 minutes. You really don't want to go longer than that because you'll start to burn the tortilla, and you do not want that. I repeat, you do not want to burn your tortilla. All right, so about 2 minutes, and then we'll flip. So after about 2 minutes, you'll see the fillings are nice and toasty. I like to check it just to make sure it looks good. And then I like to flip it along the long edge, and that just makes flipping a lot easier, and it keeps your fillings from falling out. And you'll see it gets a really nice color. Looks great. And actually the butter kind of helps with this too. So it's not just tortilla on Teflon, but you've got some butter, some oil there to kind of fry it up. So another minute or so, and checking on the brownness. It looks good to me. So grab your plate and pull it off the heat. And now it's time to cut it up and eat it. All right, so for my quesadilla, I like to cut it right down the center. And in this particular instance, I was paying attention to the camera and I temporarily forgot how to cut a quesadilla. But you want to cut in like kind of radial lines out from your original cut point to create little triangles of quesadilla. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to cut a quesadilla anymore. And this particular quesadilla, I just wanted to say hi, that's all right. And yeah, that's it. Your quesadilla is done. Enjoy.
All right, my friends. The breakfast quesadilla is done. Now, I don't know about you, but seeing this right here gives me nothing but joy. Nothing but joy. And I'm pretty excited to taste it. This is chorizo breakfast quesadilla, the corner, because it's safest. Here we go. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. You know that this is amazing. You got your egg, you got your toasty tortilla, you got your American cheese. I mean, you can swap it out for like cheddar or like a, I don't know, like a Monterey Jack or Colby Jack or something. I don't know, whatever. But you can swap out the meat. This chorizo is great, but it would be great with like breakfast sausage. It would be great with bacon. It would be great with any sort of meat, really, chicken, whatever. Like, I mean, it's really the egg that makes it a breakfast quesadilla. The meat is kind of up to you. You don't even have to do meat, right? This is a no judgment zone. If you want to go vegetarian with it, go vegetarian with it, all right? You can even throw in some greens. If you want to do some spinach and some onion and, you know, mushroom, whatever, do you. But I'm really excited to eat the rest of this. I've wanted to make this for a while, and I've just put it off because I thought, you know what, people don't want to see a one-pan breakfast quesadilla. Maybe you do. And now you have. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week with another episode of Keefe's Kitchen. Ta-ta.